Okay, folks, as you guys were leaving today, I told you that I would show you where the quadratic formula comes from, and we use completing the square to get the quadratic formula. So remember, the standard form of the quadratic formula is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. We get everything on one side, we got 0 on the other. Okay? Now, if we were going to use completing the square, the first thing we'd have to do is divide everything by a. Okay? A on the other side too. So that's going to give us x squared plus b over a x plus c over a equals 0. Okay? Because we divided 0 by a. And remember, a's got to be a number. It can't be 0 or there wouldn't be any x squared. Okay? So 0 over any number other than itself is just 0. Okay, now, if I were completing the square, remember I need to subtract c minus a from both sides. Get it on the other side. So now I've got x squared plus b over a x plus something equals negative c over a plus something. All right? Now, how do I make this thing a perfect square? Well, remember, I know it's going to be x in the front. How do I find out what this is? This is always the middle, I mean the term, the linear term, the coefficient of the linear term, b over a times 1/2. Okay? It's just half of the x term. So we're going to get plus b over 2a. And this one back here is always this squared. So that's going to be b squared over 4a squared, right, when I square it. But I got to do that over on the other side. B squared minus over 4a squared. Okay. Now, for me to put these two things together, I'm going to have to get a common denominator. And the common denominator is 4a squared. So that means I need to multiply the top by 4a and the bottom by 4a. So that's going to give me minus 4ac over 4a squared plus b squared over 4a squared. Now you may begin to start going, hey, that sounds familiar. And it does. All right? So now I've got on the left side x plus b over 2a squared is equal to, and on the right side, I'm going to put these two things together, but I'm going to put the b squared in front. B squared minus 4ac all over 4a squared. Okay. Now I've simplified the right side as much as I can. It's time to take the square root of both sides. All right. All right, so that's going to give me x plus b over 2a is equal to the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over the square root of 4a squared. Well, fortunately, the bottom is it's a monomial, and it's a perfect square, so I can take its square root. But remember, it's plus or minus. Whenever I take the square root and I've got a variable underneath it, I've got to give the plus or minus. So now I've got x plus b over 2a is equal to plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now we're beginning to see what's happening here. Okay? So I've got to subtract b over 2a from both sides. And I'm going to get x is equal to negative b over 2a plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And look, they have a common denominator already. Well, let's just make them one fraction then. X is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Nice. Thank you for the quadratic formula. Makes things a lot easier. All right, guys. Good luck on your homework. I'll see you tomorrow.